Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I want to share with you a story that happened to me on the plane. Everyone knows when I go to Chutz La'aretz, I always come back with some good stories. Right? So I was on the plane. I'll tell you the truth. A lot of people, they hate davening on the plane, but I really like davening on the plane. I find like some of my best davening is on the plane. And I base it on the Chovos Levavos. The Chovos Levavos says that the more Tumah is in the world, the harder it is to daven, the harder it is to get closer to Hashem. Yeah? Now, this is my own theory. I haven't heard it from anybody else yet. But it seems to me that the higher you get, away from this world, that, there's less tumah at 30, 40,000 feet. So that's my... Yeah, okay, it's true. No, I can't tell you that for sure, but down here.
Your plane does have TV.
Okay, that's true. Okay, a little bit.
It probably has more tumah than Yerushalayim Yer Kodesh, no?
Okay, anyway, I'm just telling you my version. I'm not telling you you have to accept this. Okay, anyway, in any event, it's always a tough flight when you leave New York at 11:45 p.m. And because basically by the time they serve their meal and you went to sleep, it's time to wake up already. Right? So I tried to beat the system a little bit. I didn't. I just got on the plane. I went straight to sleep. I didn't eat a meal, and I woke up 3 hours later. I was able to Baruch Hashem daven, say korbanos, wake up a couple other people, tell them it's time to daven, and but not loud. I didn't scream. I just said. No, they asked me to. So anyway, the point is like this. The point is I was in the middle of Shemona Esrei, and I was like, I had asked the flight attendants, the women, who seemed to be a little bit more, who seemed to be like nice ladies there, praise the flight, thank you for all your help. I'm just going to dive in out, fine, okay. I'm in the middle of Shemona Esrei, and suddenly like this male flight attendant comes by and he sees me, and I started seeing I started seeing smoke coming out of his ears, Now I'm diving on the plane. Now I'm in the middle of Shemona Esrei. I was like by, L'mal Shinim, Al Tisikva, that one. No coincidence. And L'maisa, the guy starts screaming at me. He says, "You must sit down immediately. It's absolutely forbidden to daven on an airplane. It's a Isser Gomer, and you have to listen to the crew." Okay. So I'm thinking like, what do I do now? I'm in the middle of Shemona Esrei. So I remember the Mishnah in Brachos. It says, even if there's a snake wrapped around your leg, you still keep davening. Now you have to look at the Mefarshim there. Obviously, it's not talking about a boa constrictor because you do stop, or actually, you have to know boa constrictors there, how to deal with boa constrictors. But in any event, I decided that I would just keep going, So he just kept screaming at me, "I told you to sit down. You're a Russia. You're this." He started listing off all of my kisronos. He must have spoke to my wife, and okay. I said, "Look, I'm davening Shemona Esrei. I'm not doing anything wrong, and that's it." Okay. So L'maisa, after a couple of minutes, he just gave up and he went back to sit down. I kept davening, and then I just eventually sat down. But it made me think a little bit, like, did I do the right thing or did I do the wrong thing? And we'll speak about that very soon, right? But one thing I took from this, Avram Avinu, right? It's called Avram Ivri. Why was it called Avram Ivri? Because all the world is on one side and he's on the other side, right? L'maisa, I don't think this person was so upset. It wasn't really the davening, It was more, number one, maybe he felt he had a need to control, or number two, he doesn't daven and he felt it was like a insult to his way of thinking, his way of life, and etc. So, L'maisa, I think it was the right thing to do. I think I'll get schar for being brutally attacked and this, but it's always a I had a suffix. Maybe it's pikuach nefesh. Maybe this guy's going to kill me. But I decided that if he kills me, then probably he'll get into trouble. So he probably won't do it. Hopefully. But in any event, always a person. We spoke about shidchi. A person always has to think. Just because somebody is screaming at you and yelling at you to sit down doesn't mean you have to do it. A person always has to make cheshbonos and think, Amen, Kein Ratzon.